4 pets are dead, with 3 people hospitalized after a fire at an apartment building in Rockford Friday morning, which left the structure in ruins. Around 4:30, first responders were called to the 100 block of North 9th Street. When they arrived, heavy flames could be seen coming from the building. They were told several people were trapped inside. Everyone was eventually evacuated, with 2 residents and a firefighter injured in the process. The complex was deemed a total loss, and 10 residents are being helped by the Red Cross. Several cars parked near the building were also damaged in the blaze.